Retirement planning and tax planning, they do go hand in hand, and why not make it a one-stop shop? Let's go to Warren Wealth Management. Today, once again, I have Marcus Warren, who is joining me now. And Marcus, a lot of people would say, oh, you know, I have a tax expert, and I have someone that helps manage my retirement fund. If you got both, that's a big advantage, and you're an expert in both fields.
Yeah, I think in our industry, one of the biggest downsides is the fact that everyone worked in their own silos. You have your insurance guy in their silo, your tax person in their silo, and your investment guy, and none of them were talking to each other because they were trying to just hoard their own information. And so we decided to kind of bring that in-house, and so the left hand knows what the right hand is doing, because it's important for somebody's financial future.
It makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah.
Okay, now the stock market, all-time highs for quite some time now. Despite the pandemic, we've been thriving, doing well. So I would assume, and correct me if I'm wrong, if you have a 401k or an IRA, that would be good news, right?
Yeah, I bet that a lot of people who are opening those statements up are very pleased with their 401ks, with their IRAs, 403bs, because the market has been going up and up and up. And really, it's been going up since 2009. The market, so for the last 12 years, the market has really been on a tear. The only bad news, I would say, is that only 40% of people participate in their company retirement plans. And really right now, because of the pandemic, because of layoffs, a lot of people have had to pull money out. And so, you know, that has really left people kind of on the sidelines watching the market hit all-time highs.
All right, question for you here. Now, if, because of the stock market, and you mentioned how well it's doing, if someone tends to be maybe a little bit more conservative with their investments, and they've been that way for quite some time, but they are tempted to maybe put more risk out there right now because there is some, it looks like some people are winning. You read the headlines, you see about this guy who did really well. And is that a smart move, or are you saying maybe not?
No, I would say maybe not. Probably not.
Probably not.
You know, I mean, it's like this. It's the market, and most people are focused on or have two emotions when it comes to investing, and that is fear and that's greed. And those two emotions, it causes people to do the wrong things at the wrong time, and they do it all the time. So what you're supposed to do is what? You're supposed to buy low, and you're supposed to sell high. But because of those two emotions, people tend to do the opposite. They tend to buy high and they sell low. And so right now, you know, the last few months or so, I'm getting questions about, should I get into the market? The market's at all-time high. Should I jump in? And that's really the wrong time to be asking. Because a lot of people weren't asking if they should get into the market back in March when the market dropped 30% because of the pandemic. No one was asking about getting into the markets. Most people were asking or wanting to get out of the markets. Yeah. It's like GameStop. You know, GameStop, you know, it went from, you know, $20 to $400 or $500. People were getting in at $100, $200, $300. It spiked at about $400. But did people get out? No, they didn't get out. They got greedy. They wanted to stay in, and now GameStop is $46. And now most of those people are probably in the fetal position, just having sleepless nights, not being too happy with their decisions.
See, and what you can do is you can take the emotion out of it. You can show them statistics. You can show them trends over the years.
Yes.
You know, and that's why you should go to Marcus. Marcus is the guy. Marcus Warren at Warren Wealth Management. Okay, next question for you. The surge in the market that you're talking about that's doing so well. A lot of people, including myself, would probably attribute that to some of the tech companies, right? Like Apple. True, false?
Yeah, it's like this. I'm assuming you've seen the Wizard of Oz, right? What about the Wiz? Have you seen the Wiz?
I have seen the Wiz.
Yeah, the Wiz is really the black version of the Wizard of Oz.
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson, Nipsey Russell, absolutely. It's Black History Month. Why not bring up the Wiz?
Sure.
So when they got to the end, you found out, you pulled the curtain back and you found out that the Wiz was just Richard Pryor, right? It was just a guy behind a curtain pulling the strings. And so when you think about the market and the S&P 500, you pull the curtain back and you realize that with the S&P 500, it's been about 7 to 10 the big tech companies that are driving this market up. So last year, 2020, the S&P 500 was up about 16%. If you take away those big tech companies, Tesla, Apple, Amazon, Google, Microsoft, companies like that, the market was actually down. So you pull those out, the market was actually down, which basically reflects what has happened in the economy. So when people look at the market and they think, wow, the economy's not doing so well, we have this pandemic, why is the stock market doing so well? Well, really, you pull the curtain back, take those tech companies out, and it's more reflective of what's really going down.
Interesting. Interesting. So, with this pandemic, some companies have gone out of business. Let's say someone is either. I'll give you two scenarios, and you tell me how someone should react here. Okay. Perhaps you're a retiree, or you're looking forward to a retirement this year or next year. You've got a 401k. You've got a little nest egg. They would like to talk to you. Or a company went out of business, and they're thinking about pulling out that 401k. They have no option. They don't know where to go with it. Why would I go to you, Marcus, and say, you know, why should I go to Warren Wealth Management and help me with my decisions?
That's a good question. Well, number one, instead of trying to chase returns, we are trying to build a plan, build a system for success for that particular investor. We want to basically sit down and find out where they are, where they want to be, and develop a plan to get them there. So there's two ways that you can make money. One is you can try to swing for the fences and try to get these huge rates of return, which a lot of people try to do. They try to chase these returns. The other way is by trying to just put more money in your pocket by finding ways to reduce your fees, more importantly, reduce taxes, because it's not about what you make, it's about what you keep. And if we can do those things and align those things and balance those things for you, you're going to be farther ahead down the line.
From what I understand, you have a workshop coming up. You've always been a great resource for information.
Yeah.
For folks maybe who have very specific questions, they could attend this workshop. Tell me a little bit about it.
Yeah, so you know, right now it's the middle of tax season. People are concerned about taxes, and so we're doing a workshop the 2nd of March and the 4th of March, and it's based and we're talking about taxes and retirement. And so, you know, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to lay out the line. I'm going to let people know, hey, this is the way things are. This is where things are headed. How can you profit and be successful in this current environment?
Okay, with that information on the screen, you recommend get a reservation because limited seating, right? And,
yes.
And this is good information, and I'm assuming it's free information.
Yeah, free information, good information. It's limited seating because we have to respect social distancing and wear masks and things of that nature, so we can't be full capacity, so it is limited seating, so you need to call and get your reservation now.
The economy and financial future of this country is always like anyone's guess, but at least in your case, it's an educated guess. In my case, I'm going, okay, I think this, but yours is an educated guess due to history and the stats that you're privy to. So you talk to me. Are you optimistic moving forward? We've got a new regime in. We're going to have new tax laws in. What are your thoughts?
You know, I tend to err on the side of optimism, but also trying to be as realistic as possible. And when you think about the state and the current condition of the economy and where we are, even from a tax perspective, you know, we have record national debt. We have all these unfunded liabilities. We have record unemployment. People are going to have some sort of plan and some sort of system on how to navigate those waters, and that's basically what we want to provide.
Okay, and all the more reason for you to attend this workshop. So again, let's put the information on the screen, and you know, the topics that we've been talking about today, they will be discussed. And is there a Q&A session during this as well, Marcus, for folks who have specific questions, or do you recommend a one-on-one meeting with you?
There's a limited amount of time for Q&A, but the best thing to do is to set up a one-on-one with me so I can answer their specific questions.
All right, again, it's Warren Wealth Management. He is Marcus Warren. And Marcus, you were telling me that right now is good. Business is good for you. Is that because the financial future is such a question mark? Are people wanting answers from an expert? Or why do you think your business is so busy right now? Because as you mentioned, a lot of folks out of work, a lot of people who are saying, look, I'm doing anything just to survive, but yet you've done really well. Why do you think that is?
It's a couple of different things. One is there's baby boomers. There's 10,000 baby boomers retiring each and every day, and they will for the next 7 to 10 years. And then also there's just a lot of uncertainty out there. So a lot of people are looking for professional advice that they can trust and they can count on. That's why it's been good for business lately.
All right. So whether it be planning for retirement, whether it be wealth management, maybe some tax planning, he can do it all. Again, that's Marcus Warren of Warren Wealth Management. All right. We're going to take a little break here, and then coming up. Okay. Now, believe it or not, despite the pandemic, is a good time to look at a new senior care facility or maybe move mom and dad into a spot. We'll tell you why next on Wave 3 Listens Live.
The Wave 3 News Charlie Wilson's Jen Air Kitchen is furnished by Miller's Fancy Bath and Kitchen, Kentuckiana Countertops, Cherry House Furniture Gallery, and Annabelle's Oriental Rugs. Thanks.